Hey folks, it is Vasavi Kumar coming at you with how to deal with Vasavi. So how to deal with upset people. Today that's what we're going to talk about on how to deal with Vasavi. So I made sure that I wasn't upset before I recorded this video because I really don't want to be like emotionally charged while telling you how to deal with people who are upset. So I got an email. No, who sends letters? Okay, I got an email from somebody that did work on my website, vasavikumar.com. She was upset. She was really upset. And without going into too much detail, my interaction with her was during the height of my active addiction, which was over 90 days ago, right? So I'm clean now, over 100 days sober, more than 100 days sober. She was really upset. She felt like she spent extra money out of pocket. She accused me of lying to her about something personal. She's upset that I haven't reached out to her since I've come out of rehab. And there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of charged emotions there and feelings. And she also said that because of me, she learned how to have healthy boundaries. And so that's great, right? If I'm going to be a outlet for somebody and catalyst for someone to have healthier boundaries, and woohoo, But all jokes aside, I was actually very humiliated when I got the email because I remembered that time when I was working with her on my website, and I was not at my best. I was not tip top Vasavi Kumar, right? I was in full blown active addiction, and what that means is, I was very self-centered, very selfish. Was not putting anyone else's needs first but my own in an unhealthy way, And so then post rehab, when I got checked into rehab, I didn't tell her that I was that I was suffering from an addiction. I didn't tell her I was going to rehab. So she was upset that I didn't tell her, and she read a blog post about, when I got out of rehab, and she was upset that I had never told her personally that I was going into rehab. So today's topic is how to deal with people who are upset with you, right? And it doesn't really matter what the upsetness is. First thing is take a deep breath, because boy, when I read that email, I was like, ooh, my pride was hurt. My pride was hurt because I do not like being told that I did something wrong, or if I know that I've upset someone, it does not feel good. I do not feel okay being in any shape or form being the cause of somebody's hurt. But I've learned a lot, and what I know is a lot of how she felt was really just that. It was how she felt. It was her own issues. And that's another thing, people. Just remember, when you're dealing with people, when you're dealing with people who are upset, before you take on other people's problems, just ask yourself, just remember that you can only focus on and mend your side of the street, what you did. And that's exactly what I did. So first of all, step one, I got still. I got the email when I was coming out of a parking lot at CVS. I got some new lip gloss. Still seeing if I like it. But I got the email. I was just sitting parked, reading emails, and I got it, and I was like, I had to read it 3 times. I read the email 3 times, okay? And I did not drive because my stomach was like burning, and I was like, I didn't want to drive under those conditions. So got the email, was still, shut off all music because I couldn't handle any more noise in my head, and just took a few deep breaths, right? So be still and take a few deep breaths. And then I still didn't drive. I spent 30 minutes in my car, by the way, like dealing with this issue. I would normally say give yourself 24 hours, but I didn't. That's a lie. But I also didn't feel like, I was not emotionally charged after I took those deep breaths, and I was just kind of really still, gave myself that stillness, and I was like, you know what? This is not something that I'm going to let eat up the rest of my day. And that's what I did. Because if I had not responded after I gave myself that moment to be still, it would have eaten up the rest of my day. That's just how I'm wired. Number 2, after you give yourself time to just be still, check yourself ask yourself if you're okay, right? Ask yourself if you're okay. So step 2, respond if you want to, right? Like, respond if you want to. In this case, I responded. Now, whatever you're going through, you don't always have to respond. You don't. You're not obligated to respond if you don't want to. It's completely up to you. You could choose when you want to respond. Definitely don't respond when you're angry or when you're filled with emotion, because you're probably going to say something that you're going to regret. So number 2 is respond if you want to. Check yourself to make sure that you're not holding any resentment towards that person, or anger, or judgment. Okay? And then 3, so I did respond, by the way. I did respond to that email. And I just focused on the facts. And I said, I told her what it was. I said I focused on the facts. I focused on inaccurate facts, and I made a point to point that out. Like, you're getting your facts. Your facts are a little inaccurate about me, but I don't mind, talking about what is the truth here. So that's what I did, and made it very clear that I will not be engaging anymore because, quite frankly, like, I don't like emotionally charged emails. Like, I can handle an emotionally charged conversation. I just can't do an emotionally charged email. I don't know what that is about. But, okay, so number 1 is be still. Number 2, respond if you want to or not, or give yourself some time. Number 3, if you do sit down to respond, and if you do respond, focus on your side of the street. Like, what did you do? No sorries, no justifications, no validations, like, oh, because this and because that. Like, you can't take that stuff personally. When you've upset someone, or if someone is upset with you, just remember, if someone is upset with you, it's because of something that's going on with them. But you got to be willing to look at yourself and ask yourself, how did I show up? What could I have done differently, right? This is really about having that self-awareness, looking at yourself and making it right. Right? So make it right. With this girl that I was emailing me back and forth, there was really no making it right. Like, there was no asking of, like, hey, can we get on the phone and talk? She didn't ask that. She just kind of really wanted to vent. She wanted to vent and tell me how she felt. So I said, okay, clearly I'm your outlet. So get it, girl. Let me know how you feel. So she wanted to, obviously, I wasn't about to go back and be like, hey, you want to hop on the phone? Like, no, she didn't ask for that. She said that this was something that she wanted to get off of her chest. So that is what she wanted to do with me. At that point, all I could do is truly just explain my side of the street, let her know what she said was a lie, was not a lie, because I'm trying to, just kind of let her know that my integrity was actually intact, show a level of compassion and understanding, and keep it moving. So with you, be still, number 1. Number 2, respond if you want to or don't want to. And if you're going to respond, focus on yourself and your side of the street. Now, if you don't want to respond, by the way, give yourself time. And when you do, give yourself enough time so that when you do respond, it's when you're feeling clear-headed. I hope this helps. This is really hard. Communication with people can be really hard, especially if you have a tendency of taking things personally. Or if this person is close to you, or maybe if they're not close to you. Anyway, let me know, what you're dealing with. Are you dealing with upset people in your life? If you need to know how to communicate, get around difficult situations, I'm your girl. You just watched How to Deal with Vasavi, how to deal with upset people today. Subscribe, comment below, and if you know you have a friend who needs to hear this, share it with them. Have a great day. Love you guys. Bye.